Hey,
How you doing, Jeanne?
I am wonderful. And how are you?
Oh,
Yes.
awesome. Thank you for attending, coming to our I'm a Doubter podcast.
Oh,
It's
I am so honored to be here, Nathaniel,
wow, this
and
is great.
excited. I am. Oh, you just cannot know how grateful I am.
Yeah, so this is brand new podcast we have been doing and focus on image and leadership.
Yes,
Leader image and leadership coaching, development.
yes,
And I've been seeing your work behind the scenes. I've been seeing that you're very consistent and compassionate about your purpose, the path.
yes,
And
yes,
I've always commended that because me as an individual, I've gone on so many different paths and have come into certain levels and then come back down. It's always good to see individuals tap in, and it's important that we actually connect with one another that taps in, even if we ourselves are not tapped in fully.
right.
To continue that spirit and for us to be able to continue to grow from within because you know the individual that actually gets to a level where they have no more to do, they can't increase anymore, is that's not a good space to be in.
No, no. And I hear you have some visitors there in the background.
Oh, some visitors over here. Oh man,
No,
that's not.
no, the that's okay.
Oh no,
Because
that's cool.
that's okay. That just shows this is real and
Oh
this live.
yeah, yeah, we in live. Yeah, we not messing around. We here in person.
Yes,
This
yes.
ain't no studio. This ain't no movie shoot. You're gonna
No,
get
eh,
everything right the first time. This not it.
that's right. That's right. Because I was I love what you're saying about leadership, and that's why I wanted to really connect with you to kind of really define leadership and
Yeah,
what
because
it.
of that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
What
I'm
it
listening.
okay, what it truly means. And see, and this is why I love interacting with you because both of us have a lot to say.
Yeah, we do, and we can talk simultaneously too. I'm personally me. I'm not the stop and start guy all the time. Like
Mm,
I'll be more into the spirit in the moment of the situation. So if a person is saying something, talking, I'm able to interject real quick on filling sentences and all type of stuff and different concepts, right? Because I think it's important to be in the moment and not be so scripted.
yes.
Once
Yes.
you become scripted in life, regardless of anything, like say for instance, your life is scripted. I just get money. All I care about is money. That's a script,
Right.
and only thing you're going to focus now is on money, and you're not going to be able to elevate past that because you create a script for yourself. I believe that you should not write out too many scripts. You can have a couple of rules and guidelines, but not to a point where it actually pins you into a corner. Sometimes
Right.
you create things for yourself and it locks you into a corner and you don't know how to get out of it.
Right.
And people that don't know your script, they can't help you.
Right. Right. That's where being authentic comes in. Because if you are being authentically you, then you can flow better.
Yes,
And
right, you can. That's right.
it's very freeing to just be authentically
Me
you.
sound, yeah, you got to be authentically sound. You can't be like if you read a book, you don't take everything out the book and incorporate it in your life. You know, you use the book on a metaphysical level, unless it's like a certain principles that you want to practice and
Right.
relate. But understand that everybody you come into contact with don't understand those principles. They don't understand those
Right.
concepts. Right?
Right.
Everybody's not on your same level. They didn't read that book, right? They don't know what you're talking about, man.
I
Right?
was just talking to my husband about that this morning, about meeting people where they are.
That's good.
Because so many times, and I was guilty of this at one time,
Mm-hmm.
of
All
thinking,
leaders are.
yes, that everybody thinks the same way I think,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody
Should think the
operates
way
on
you
the
think.
same principles that I operate on, but that's not the case.
That's not the case. And,
That's
and, and for you to do that, you limit your ability to increase.
yes,
because you don't get to learn lessons that the other people that you contact have experienced.
Yes.
They've learned things that you would never learn, and they will go through things that you would never go through, and you might not want to go through
That's right. That is so right. That is
them.
so right and exact. And that's one thing that I am so appreciative about you is I know that I can learn from you.
That's right. We can learn from each other.
And
Iron sharpens iron.
yes, and I am thankful for that because one of the things I think that keeps us alive and vibrant is learning, always learning, and always knowing that we are on a journey that is never ending
Mm,
until Keisha.
yes, right.
It's good to see
Keisha,
you, Keisha.
I love to see Keisha too. Keisha energy is off the chain.
Isn't it wonderful? She
Oh
is
yeah,
one
yeah,
of my
yeah, yeah,
favorite people.
yeah. Non-stop, man. Just hit you where it's at.
So it's great. It's great to have you here, Keisha.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, and so in our growth and development, knowing that we can learn, always learn something. Children, children are some of the greatest teachers if we just take time to listen to them and really listen
Mm,
to them. They are some of the, and sometimes we may disregard, say that's just a child. No,
no, no, it's
no,
not.
that's a
That's a life force. That's a new life force that has a
yes.
different set of eyes than you, a different heart than you, a different spirit than you. Because a lot of times we get accustomed to life. We cultivate ourselves according to certain principles or concepts or ideologies, right? Or
Yes,
values or belief systems. And all those things in a way are basically misleading
yes,
because what we try to identify ourselves as, there is no identification for life.
yes, yes. Isn't that beautiful?
That's great. That's the most beautiful thing about it. I'm not a firefighter. I'm not a police officer. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a consultant, even if you want to use these certain concepts. I'm a being that actually operate in these certain spaces to bring people to my awareness of things that I've learned and what I've accomplished in my life. But I'm not defined by those things because those things
Right,
shift like the wind.
right, right, right. And that is the beauty of really coming to understand this concept of what is within
That's right.
and who we are within, and not who we have been uh put that
That's
labels
right.
that have been
That's what
put
it
on
is. The
us.
label is that label. And when we label ourselves, because once you label yourself, and let's say you fall short of your labeling, what happens to you?
Oh, great
Because
question.
you create the bar. So if you fall short of what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish, where do you go from there?
Oh, that's a great question. That's something to really think about. Um, and in this, we're discussing leaders and leadership. And I was really thinking about that, how we are given leadership concept in today's world, what it
Mm.
means. And I was looking up the definition, and all the definitions focused on the outward.
Ah, that's correct. That's correct. That's
The
correct.
outward, leading people, taking them by the hands, or a halter or a rope, and leading them. You know, uh,
That's right.
and and I was really thinking about that. How one of the greatest leaders that we have there is within us. It's ourselves.
That's what actually gets us to the level of leadership is the projection from within. Once we get to the plateau, we forget the tools and resources and the opportunities that actually brought us to these spaces. All of a
Yeah,
sudden, we just came here to rob ourselves. Nothing or no one helped us actually to achieve these things. Not even our inner man. We actually denounced the inner man. We go on certain plateaus and said, "This is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it." Right? You see how many leaders how they got destroyed when they actually came to prominence because they messed with their leadership, right? Like Lieutenant Bryant Benjamin actually just got caught for swindling money, you know what I'm saying, from the New York City Council,
Okay.
right? He came to a certain level, and when he got to that level, he forgot why he was there. His purpose is to actually bring forth change in the land and protect and increase communities. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And to remove harm, you know what I'm saying, from off his doorstep. Instead, he brought it to his doorstep and he got uprooted as a result. We forget at times what brought us into the rooms. That's why a lot of times as leaders, we'll fall. And our fall is not graceful because we're forgetting why we entered into the room. And if we get thrust out or kicked out or slandered out, how do we recover from that?
Oh, that's a great point because when we lose our focus, see, that's keeping our focus on why am I doing what I'm doing? What
Mm,
gave me the passion to do what I'm doing?
that's correct.
And keeping my
That's right.
eye on that rather than the shiny objects because
Mm-hmm.
things may be offered to you to take you off that
Off
path.
your path. That's when in the Bible the Most High says, "Do not accept gifts." He's specific. He said, "Do not accept gifts." If those gifts are connected to a certain element, a certain favor or a certain concept or words, comfort. You can't take those gifts because now you're being manipulated according to those gifts. Even if you
That's
come back 6 months or a year later, you still put yourself in a space to be manipulated.
yes, yes. And that's one of the qualities of a great leader is to have integrity. Your integrity.
Your integrity means a lot.
Yes, where you cannot be bought.
Yeah. And once that happens, and I've seen it many times, you are pushed out of these spaces. If you come into spaces where you see that change is evident, it's all on the wall, but nobody want to look at the wall and see the change. If you're the only one seeing the change and point at that change on the wall, they're gonna say, "Yo, this person doesn't belong here."
Yes. Okay, now taking that on another to another level of going within. Now, me as leading myself, I'm a leader of
That's right.
myself.
Of myself.
Am I being honest with myself? Because I always talk about that self examination and really understanding who we are and what we are. That takes a lot of self reflection.
Mm, that's right.
And if I am putting myself out there as a leader, do I really know where I want to lead people?
I might not have a clue. It might just be a concept that's leading me, that actually brought me into this space. It might just be a certain energy surge that hit me. But one thing I've learned is when the energy hits you, you have to cultivate the energy. You have to keep working on that energy. It's not just going to stay there.
Hmm.
When it attacks you, when it says, "Yo, it's your turn," now it's time for you to start developing it and putting it in perspective. And if you're not aware of why you're in the room, you will get pushed out. And if you don't know how to protect yourself to stay in the room, you will lose focus and you will just probably walk away.
Right, right. Because you don't know your why.
You
You
don't know your
haven't,
why.
we haven't taken time to really do that self examination, to do that self reflection of saying, why am I doing what I am doing? What is my
Correct.
motivation? What is my intention? Where am I going? And who do I really want to take with me?
And then let's put another question. When I accomplish it, now what's my focus?
Yes, yes,
Let's say I
yes,
accomplish my goal. Where do I go from there? I'm just a
yes.
ship. I'm just a ship in the water. I'm just sitting there now, right? I ain't got nowhere else to go, right?
And that's why it's really important to understand that we're
Yeah.
constantly growing.
That's one of the things is leadership is that we're constantly growing. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And one of
Uh,
my first questions was I actually had got got some questions out for you too. So I just want you to know
Okay, well, go right ahead. I'm ready.
that. Yeah, so as we know, Jeanne, she's a happiness coach expert, and I actually wanted her to. My question was, can you expound on what makes a happiness coach and the importance of it within this day and time? Like, what's the importance of a happiness coach within this day and time?
Well, Nathaniel, how there are just so many of us that are lost.
Mm,
We have challenges in our lives.
this shirt is messing with me.
I know. And on camera,
Yeah, it's
it,
messing with me.
okay, well, you
Hold on.
get that corrected. It's okay. And I'm going to carry on and answer your question. Um, there are just so many of us that are lost in our challenges. And we all face challenges on a day to day basis. And some of us just get lost in those challenges. Well, what I do is I empower um, others to pull up on that power that we have within to face those challenges. Now, as a happiness expert, I haven't always been happy.
Mm,
You know, I have had moments that I labeled happy
that's right.
before I really came to understand that happiness comes from within. Happiness is something that we cultivate within. Now, it may mean different things to
To
different
different
people,
people.
you know, and so that's where that self examination comes in. That's where the understanding of self comes in. And so, for me, I had to look at, why am I unhappy? And that was because I was looking for happiness in all the wrong places.
Yeah, because
I,
you get to the point where you say, I control happiness.
that's right.
Right? And how do you control happiness? Right. And that's a good point, because there's times where you wasn't happy, but you were still able to tap back into that inner purpose. That's where the happiness comes from. Right. You
Yes,
might not you could get upset behind a situation. It doesn't mean that you're unhappy. You
that's
know, right? You can scream and yell. It doesn't mean that you're unhappy. Right. This is your expression. You want to bring things forth. And a lot of times we confuse one thing with another.
that's right. That's right. See, and being having that inner happiness does not mean that everything is right and exact in your life. It does not
Mm.
mean you're not having problems. It
Oh.
does not mean you're not dealing with chaos. It does not mean that at all. It just means that you have found a center. You have found a base that you can always come back to, and it's something that's in within you that no one can take away. No one has control of it but you.
But no one. I was actually talking to my wife, because there's some type of misconception in the society that I see that men have power over their wives. And I constantly tell my wife that, when I was coming through, it was like almost a million other guys with me, but I beat them out, right? And I
Ah, kudos to you.
and, and, and she wasn't part of that transition, but
Okay.
like she had to go through. She beat another million people out when she came through her path,
Okay.
right? So if she beat a million people out and got here, and I beat a million people out and got here, how do I dominate that? How do I have control over a element that has nothing to do with me,
That's right.
right? I didn't bring forth this life forth, even though I met this life force. I didn't bring it forth. I have no control and dominance over this life force. Not even the
That's
one I
right.
have. The one
That's
I
right.
have evades me. I'm confused a lot of times about it. I'm trying to grab it and bring it back into the fold and say, no, 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 I'm going over here. So for me, it's understanding that we have to be free in our lives, free with our wives, our children, our husbands, to allow them to get to the space that they need to get to in order for them to be where they're supposed to be at.
That's
You
right.
know, you cannot steal a purpose from a person because you say you married to that person. You don't take a purpose from individuals. You give purpose. The point of actually cultivating anything is to increase, it's not to decrease.
Now that's a true leader. That's a true leadership concept right there in cultivating.
And
You're
cultivating,
you're there to cultivate.
cultivate, that's right. To improve, to increase, to modify. You know what I mean? Not to destroy, not to take possession of. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't control anything in the world. As soon as you
That's
believe
right.
you control something, you lose yourself in the control of it because you have to do everything in your power to keep it at bay, to keep it moving.
Yeah, and and when you have to do that, Nathaniel, that means your eye is not on you.
That's correct.
I mean, how can you be out here trying to control all these other entities and still keep your eye on you?
How? Well, how are you going to be able to do it? How are you going to be able to do it? Right? I was looking at something the other day. It really disturbed me. This man had got 16 years in prison. He was one of the founding fathers of Grandmaster Flex,
Okay.
the group. Um, he wound up falling from his grace as far as the music industry. Wound up getting a job, as a regular John Doe or whatever, and came into altercation with a homeless man in the street and killed him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they gave him 16 years to life.
Okay.
And it was really disturbing to see that he was on such a great path. That path that he opened that door up, like Russell Simmons and them, that many men and women now are able to use to catapult
Mhm.
their lives and change their financial situations and their social situations and that of their friends and families. And this man now, which once was a pioneer that actually lost his focus on his life, is now doing 16 years in prison,
Wow.
right, for killing a homeless man, not a man that a man that actually just gave up on life already and was like, I don't care about life. And he allowed this man to tap into his energy and disturb his energy source to the point where he actually just sacrificed 16 years out of his life.
Wow. And that makes you really wonder what was really going on with him.
That's right. That's
What
right.
was really happening
I've
with
been there
him
with him.
that he fell that far from grace?
That's right.
What is going on in his life? But at the same time, see, when hear something like that, Nathaniel, I think about divine intervention because sometimes things happen in our lives that appear to be totally horrendous.
That's correct.
They
Humiliating
happen to us, and we may say, "Why me? Why is this happening to me?"
to me.
But it may be happening because you're being led to a higher purpose.
That's
And
correct.
depending on how you pass or fail that test is dependent on,
Determines your destiny.
yes,
Determines your destiny. And it's just to show men, I only brought that story out to show men and women that no matter how high you get in this land,
yes,
right? No matter what power you used to have and what control you used to have, don't get comfortable with it, man. Don't take possession of it. If you're going to use it, you have to use it in a good manner and in a good
yes,
substance. So if it
yes,
get taken away from you, you can say, man, listen, Lord, I don't got that no more. But when I was doing it and I had the power, I was doing what I was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Now
yes,
bless me with another path. Let me go on another path and do some greater things.
yes. And see that and not see as because maybe you had all of this and not knowing his story.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
definitely.
supposing
Yeah,
that maybe you were not using it to the greatest good, you know.
mm, that's correct.
And you know what you were saying earlier about you start out on a path, just like the was it the commissioner there
Yeah, the
that
commission. Yeah, the
that
lieutenant.
stole the money?
The
He may
lieutenant.
have
Yeah,
started out with a grand vision.
that's a fact. That's what got him there.
Yes, just
Yeah,
as the Grand Master Flash, he may
that's
have
right.
started out with a great
Great
vision
vision. That's correct.
and got caught up.
Got caught up in life sources. Got caught up in the things that this life is actually providing people. And I see that, you know, that we actually talk about leadership with a twist, and we actually get into the nitty gritty of things we're talking about is actually showing how these things take possession of who we are. The belief of I'm this person. I'm a millionaire. I'm a billionaire. You know, I'm a leader, right? I'm a president or vice president of this place. So these things take possession over you to the point where if you lose your job as a vice president, who are you
Ooh,
going to be a vice president of now?
ooh, that's a biggie.
How
That's
do
a
how do you
big,
how do yeah? What do you do now? How do you actually do it? You
right.
know
See
what?
that label, you became that label.
You become that label.
That label defined you.
That's right. That's right. So
You know,
leadership with a twist, we want to step outside of labels. Even if others define us as these leaders, or even though money may determine your concept of life and give you a purpose, if that money get blown away in the wind, what is your purpose? Do you run behind the money, or do you stand still and be silent and be in the moment to recreate and find out why that money got blown away? Because if you chase behind that money, you don't know if it's going to go into the deep sea. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if it's going to run into a whole bunch of gang members. Like, you don't know where that money is going to go running into, right? And you
right.
don't want to chase behind it to put yourself in harm's way,
That's right.
right?
And that's why when talking about happiness, does your happiness lie in your money? Is that where you think your happiness lies? In your money?
That's right. Yeah.
So
Because
when that
you give it, yeah. Every day you give away the happiness that you have. You spend it on different things. So if that was the case, you would never use it. You would never spend it.
and I want to say, I'm not saying that it is a bad thing to have money.
It's a great thing.
It's a
It's
great
cool.
thing. It's a
It's cool.
wonderful thing.
It's a great tool.
It is a great tool.
It's a
See in the
tool.
Bible, and see, and you know so much about the Bible. That's what I love about you. You educate me about what's in the Bible because so many times we take what's in the Bible and take it so literally that we don't
Yes.
apply it and turn it into action. But in the Bible, it talks about money being the root of all evil,
Evil.
but the love of money, not
The love
money
of money.
itself,
The love of
but the
money.
love of it.
Specifies. He's most high specific. He's love. He put that word there specifically for a reason to let you know. Stay out of the love of the money. Stop loving the money above your people, above your family, your children. You know what I'm saying? The people in your communities. You know what I'm saying? Don't use your money to belittle others. You know what I'm saying? And to create hedges between them. Where when you had no money, everybody had access to you. When you got the money, nobody got access to you now. You got bogus phone numbers. You got burning emails. You know what I'm saying? You got burner websites, you know what I'm saying, where nobody can't reach you now. But before you was a leader and these people was building you up behind you or under you, everybody had access to you. Now when you become a leader, you shift the dynamics and you change the frameworks of the leadership values that was connected to the entities that was around you. Which means that if it's 10 of us and 20 of us on this path, it wasn't meant for only you to be the leader, but all 20 of us to be the leader.
Yes, yes, that is a body. That is a body. And where I'm not thinking that, okay, I have more to offer than you have to offer. And so therefore I should be out front.
That's right.
All of us have something to offer. And that's why as leaders, and that's being, and I wrote down another word for
Oh,
another gratitude.
Oh yes. Oh wow.
Gratitude for the people. See, if there are 20 of us on this same path, I'm going to be grateful for you.
Or 20.
All 20. That's what I'm saying. All 20.
That's
I'm
right.
grateful.
I'm great because y'all didn't have to come there. Y'all didn't have to be on this path. Y'all didn't have to help me on this path. So
That's right.
because you increased on the path and we push you to increase, does not mean that our push is insignificant.
That's right.
Our
Gratitude.
push, our push has more value than you actually being on a plateau as a leader.
Yes. I heard and you hear these terms all the time, I'm sure. Is lonely at the top.
Yeah,
Okay, now
yeah,
why is it lonely at the top? That's
yeah.
because you
I'm reading a book by John C. Maxwell. It's called Leadership, and he said the same thing. He said, yeah, they say the leaders lonely at the top. He said the reason why, and he wrote this in 1970.
Okay.
He said the reason why leadership is lonely at the top because the leaders don't take the other leaders with them.
That's it.
They want to be they want to take the concept of leadership and use it to propel themselves above the other leaders that they know are leaders.
Look at that.
And he said the only reason why he was successful because he realized that there is no one leader. There's a collective whole.
That's right.
If I increase, we all increase.
That's right.
If I get $10 million and I got 10 people on the platform, we all got $1 million. Not just
That's
me
right.
having $10 million and then tell them, oh, get yours where I had got mine. And this is
That's
the
right.
dynamic that they're creating in false leadership. And we see it all the time in the Black communities and even other communities where people, when they become successful or so-called successful, they shift the dynamics of their own blessings to be able to go back to these leaders that helped them in the past to help them again in the future. They burn the whole bridge, and when they ever need these leaders again, they can't come back to the leaders.
Because they are ungrateful. See, that's where gratitude
Comes
comes
in that.
in.
That's correct.
And we never should forget where we came from.
Came from, or the people that help us get into these spaces. You don't continue to take from a resource that you no longer need.
That's right.
You now you give back to that resource that provided you with the substance that you need to get your footing.
Yes.
This is what leadership is. We have to change the framework of what these leaders. This one size fit all leader, this one leader on the top. That's weird. I went to an event one time and it, closed Rikers Island again. Oh, we go close Rikers Island.
Okay.
Anyway, I met a woman. She was 80 years old.
Okay.
She said, young man, I was on this same platform when I was 18.
Wow.
I wasn't even born yet when she was 18.
Okay.
Right? You
Right.
understand? And she said, how is it that I'm back on this same platform and I'm 80
Wow.
years old? She said, do you
Yes.
have any insight why I might be back on this platform at 80 years old?
Mm.
I said, because it wasn't dismantled.
It's
So
the
you had to
system. Yes.
you had to come back and revisit the work that you chose not to undo.
Mm.
And she said, whoa. I said, yes. She said, is there any methods to change that? I said, yes, it is. You have to change that one CEO, one leadership concept when you're dealing with movements.
Mm.
It has to be multiple leaders and multiple CEOs on the same platform to crush the system. Other than that, they're gonna wipe out that one leader. He's gonna get caught in the scandal. She's gonna get caught in the scandal. This and then next thing you know, everything's gonna fall, and then have to revamp and then bring it back to essence, and it never gets done.
But see, that again is where being a great leader, humility. See, it takes humility to have that mindset, Nathaniel.
That's correct.
It takes humility
Melody.
and not seeing ourselves as the be all and end all.
Because that has nothing to do with you.
That's
See,
right.
it's a weird concept, but you when you get into it, you realize it has nothing to do with you as an individual. This is a purpose that has to be undone because it may be going against humanity. It may be going against life forces that hasn't even been born yet, right? So you
Right.
want to uproot these things that's detrimental to society, regardless of what name they under, regardless of what system they under. If they're detrimental to society and life forces, they're supposed to be uprooted.
That's right.
There's no
That's
other thing
right.
to do with them. You're not supposed to accumulate money from them. You're not supposed to accumulate wealth from them. You're not supposed to accumulate status from them unless you're actually using that wealth and status to uproot that whole system that you say you was
Say
connected
it
to.
again. Say it again. That's right.
Yeah,
Uproot it. It has to
uproot
be.
it, uproot it. And if you leave, you keep leaving, you take all the resources, then you keep leaving for other leaders. You know what I'm saying? That means that the system is going to die out the leaders. It's going to crush the leaders instead of leaders crushing the systems. Because I've noticed without tools and resources to crush these systems, you won't be able to get your foot into the door.
Okay. Okay.
So it's understanding that your purpose is not just to be in a room to challenge something. Your purpose is to be in a room to uproot something, to change the element of it, the definition of what it may be. And you got to ask yourself a question: why is it here? And what purpose does it does for
Yes.
humanity?
Yes. And see, that is the key there, right there, Nathaniel. Thinking about the whole of humanity. And so many times I see this system has put so many divisions in with us, including how we think of leadership,
That's correct.
that we are all focused on, and they are, you said, diversions. I'm focused on whether you're a Christian. You're focused
Mm-hmm.
on whether I'm a Muslim.
That's
I'm
right.
focused on whether you're
Uh-huh.
this or that, or whether you say God, or whether you say Allah, or whether you say
Yeah.
Most High, or whether you say the highest, or whether I'm focused on how have become divided as humanity in understanding that we are all one.
Yeah, and it's really a scary reality, what I would say, because that would mean that society would actually take the point of they was actually able to see air, they would actually separate that too.
Yeah.
They would find a reason to separate the air from this group to that group to this group to that group. Right? And it's a good thing. The Most High made sure that the air was invisible because we'd be messed up. We'd be out here suffocating. The same
I'm
way they
laughing,
suffocate
but
these
that is
leaders.
so true. I'm
Yeah,
laughing, but that's true.
the same way they suffocate these leaders in these different systems, and they suffocate you in churches and all these different ideologies and principles. They don't let you breathe. You have to be able to breathe and see. Even if you get introduced to something, there's a purpose why you got introduced to it. It's not to lock you in, it's to release you.
That's right. And that's why the name of my company, Nathaniel, is Freedom to Live.
Freedom to live, right? Which actually brings me to another question for you because when we were doing our pre-interview, I've learned some interesting things, and I wanted to actually touch bases on the vibration of music and actually how it directly affects us.
Yes. Um, at one time, and this is, and I'm new to learning this, so I don't know all of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm new to learning it.
That's
But
right.
at one time, music was played at 432 hertz. But when Hitler came into power, him knowing the how music influences a person's attitudes and moods and all of that, he brought it to 440 hertz. Now, music that is played at 440 hertz, it causes us to feel more of those negative emotions, fear, anger, uh, all of those things that will bring us down. Now, it may be bumping, and it may be bumping, and have us, rocking and rolling.
That's right.
But what it is actually doing on a subliminal level is influencing our mood. Now, in order to counteract that, we should listen to music with intention. Why am I listening to this music? What
Mm,
am I wanting to gain from listening? Because music is very important in determining how we think. So if we listen to music that is played at 432 hertz, it will bring us to a certain level. If we listen to music that is at 532 hertz, it's
mm.
another level,
A whole nother level.
whole nother level. If we listen to music that's played in the 800 range, it's a whole nother level. In fact, most music that is played at the 800 brings us more in contact with that inner being. It
And people
helps.
might be asking why I may answer that question, like, what does this have to do with our conversation? But it shows you as far as vibrations, not just in music, but in everything that we do. Even when you're
Yes,
dealing with leadership, leadership has a certain level of vibration, right? And if that leadership vibration is not where it can be digestible, right? Where it can be cultivated and learned from and magnified, then that leadership is actually going to bring about more division than collectivity.
that's right. And see, and that's what it is that vibrational level. If we're not operating on a high vibrational level, then we are not going to have those qualities that we were talking about in leadership, that integrity, that gratitude, that humility. See, if you're operating on and the highest vibrational level that we can operate out of is love.
That's correct. There's really no other greater aspect that we able to identify at this time than the love of energy.
Yes.
Energy, love is the greatest energy source that we have. It has nothing to do with your money, your Tesla, your this, your that. It's our love. It's like the Most High says in the Bible when he came to the children of Israel. He says in the Bible, when I found you, you was naked, right? You was hungry, you was thirsty, you know what I'm saying? You was filled with blood, and I cleaned you up and I exalted you out of love.
Yes. Yes.
He didn't
And
say anything out of love.
out of love. And
And
it's
this
the
is what
same
we
thing
do.
with God. When you see in the Bible, it says God is love.
Love. That's correct. And when you go into spaces like Matthew's chapter 25, 25, it tells you the dynamics of leadership within itself. Clothing the hungry, clothing the homeless, feeding the hungry, visiting those that's in prison, visiting those that become sick and ill. It shows you the vibration of what love is. And when you don't follow that vibration and start talking about the hellfire and all the different things like that. So it's very imperative for leaders at this time right now to not get caught up in the hype of what that leadership that they're actually doing entails. Because a lot of times it's only a myth, it's a mystery,
Yes.
right? Don't
Yes.
lock yourself into it. Don't take away your blessings, or people that you want to come into contact with, people you're supposed to uplift and elevate because you don't want to have gratitude for the things that have been provided to you, right? Everything that's
Right.
provided to us is provided to us for to increase. The apple tree don't grow one apple.
Right.
It grows enough apples for a community of people.
Right.
There's not
Right.
one fruit and vegetable that grows one fruit and one vegetable, right? If that was the case, we would starve. You had to wait for one fruit to be done per tree. We would starve.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If it was
Yes.
only one animal, we would starve. That's why it's billions of animals. There's more animals than people. Because we will starve.
Right. Right.
right? These little gifts that have been given to us, we're not paying attention to it, and we're not cultivating our leadership. We're allowing leaders to fall under the cracks. We're allowing leaders to be attacked in certain ways, and we're not putting these blockages up to even protect ourselves as leaders. Because once we get to a certain level, the vibrations that do not adhere to us will try to come against us and will try to uproot us. And we have to
Yes.
pay attention to it, and we have to be able to see those vibrations. They call you in
Yes.
secret rooms and jails and things like that nature. You have to be very careful in this time here, especially if you're dealing with the human element.
Right.
I'm not talking about selling t-shirts and hats here. I'm talking about people.
Right.
I don't care about
Right.
your houses and your cars. I'm talking about people. I can't take any of those things with me. I can obtain them, and I'm going to give them to my sons and daughters when I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to make me no never mind,
Right.
right? I see a lot of men in the street, sleeping on the streets in Brooklyn, in Manhattan, sleeping on the train, you know. And some people I say, yo, what's going on, man? Yeah, I used to be successful, but I failed, and that's it.
Yes.
And I said, nah, you got to get back up, brother. Like you can't lay here. I have to walk by here. You can't lay here, right? 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 Because it's not a
Yes.
good thing. It's not a good thing for me to see as a being. Forget about being a man or being a woman, but as a being, it is not a good thing for me to see
Yes.
another being get to a point where they are destructive. I'm
Yes.
saying where there's no more life and there's no more hope. That is not a good thing to see as a life force,
Right. Right.
because
And
of what you have and what you don't have. That is a testament against the constitution of humanity and what has taken place in society and what society will allow to take
oh,
place within its own midst
yes.
without correcting it. That's what that
Yes.
means. It don't mean nothing else. Whatever laws that they put into place in communities that allow this to take place, those laws have allowed these things to take place. Whatever
Yes.
leaders that come in the community do not change these things, these leaders have allowed these things to take place.
Yes.
Right? The substance of it has developed to a point where it's out of control, to a point where they can't even grab it back if they want to without dismantling the whole system. So instead, just let some people fall through the cracks, because we can't
Yes.
dismantle the whole system for a few people. We have
Yes.
sacrificed the few for the many.
Yes. Wow. I,
And
I
that's
love
what they're
that.
doing. And
I
that's
love
what this is what
that.
they're
I
doing.
love that. That
We're
that
not at
is.
war.
It
This is not
is.
warfare. They create the land into a warfare. This is not a war zone. This is a place for humanity to thrive, to become to a greater purpose,
And have a freedom to live.
to have a freedom to live and to elevate and to
Yes.
grow.
Yes.
When they not grow because of you, they don't need your
Yes.
permission to exist. They're supposed to exist already. It's supposed to be in place to help them to exist. But you
Yes.
don't see it. If I go to 125th Street, oh, I'm like, yo, this is crazy, because what you see there is like a hub. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
For homelessness.
Wow.
So if
Wow.
any man finds himself homeless, he know what hub he can go to.
And you know what? Speaking of that, and then I have one point I made. I know I don't know exactly how long you had
Yeah, but
planned
we're gonna
on,
shut down a little while. But let's
but
go. Take your point.
but I wanted to say, speaking of homelessness, my husband and I were making an observation, and we talked about it too, about Elon Musk spending $44 billion for Twitter. Now look at how many homeless people that could have
Mm,
benefited. We
that's
talked. I
correct.
look at the all the, and not that I'm not empathetic with what's going on in Ukraine, but I see all the money that the United States is putting into weapons and all of that for a war. But
That's
there are
correct.
so many people here that are suffering and in need. And
It's a
I
war
look,
right here.
it's a war right here.
It's a war right here.
It's a war right
I don't know
here.
what war they're talking about, but it's a war right here, United
Right
States of
here.
America, right?
Right
And the
here.
war is encased inside of their laws and their constitutions.
And so I looked at that, and that really is so showing that as far as leadership is concerned, we do not really understand what it is
There
to be
is a leader.
a leader. And on that note, I want to say some of the greatest leaders that we have, and this is in honor of mothers, because this is Mother's Day.
That's it. Happy Mother's Day. You got some beautiful children too, and this is Mother's Day today. And that's for
Yes,
all the women and the
all
men
women.
that's out
'Cause
there. Because you got men too that don't, they raising their children by themselves.
right.
So they
And
have
I
to
had
take on
that as
this
a note
role.
to mention, to make sure I
Yeah.
mention the fathers.
Yeah, that's right. The fathers is you have a lot of single fathers out here. And they're very good fathers and they love their children. And this
Yes, they do.
system, yeah, and these systems have basically taken away or I won't say take away, they haven't actually increased that concept of, the father, taking over the role of the mother because she's not here for whatever reason, you
That's right.
know.
And understanding that even if a person has not actually physically been a mother given birth, that is not what it's about. That it may not, the man may not have contributed his seed to bringing that life into existence. But if we all take on the attitude of what it is and understand what is a true mother, what is it to nurture, what is it to be a father? We fathers and mothers are the greatest leaders because we are responsible for the young.
Society.
Yes, we are
Yeah.
responsible and we have abdicated that responsibility.
And it doesn't, and what makes it more interesting is that they have merged every other element in the society except that.
Okay,
They
yes.
have merged a man to be a woman to be a man. They have done all these different things in society. They have changed the element of sports. They have let men get into women's sports and things of that nature, as identified as women. They have cultivated and basically merged all these different systems, but it seems like that system right there just stays separate. We're going to continue to separate the man from the woman. We're going to continue to
Mhm.
separate the roles of the man from the woman, right? And we're going to create a diversity in the land that makes man believe that he's greater than a woman, and
Oh, yes.
that he has dominance over the woman, and in some weird form, shape, or fashion, he has some dominance, right?
Mhm.
And then the man goes back in his level of dominance, right, to be satisfied and pleased by the woman.
And see, and I'm going to throw in something from the Holy Quran. We've been talking about the Bible, but I want to throw in
Yeah,
this
definitely, definitely.
about what we're taught, and especially in the Nation of Islam, under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We're taught that after God created himself, he created woman. We're taught that woman is the second self of God, and that woman, a nation can rise no higher than its woman.
That's
And
correct.
and as long as the woman is being disrespected, not giving her the honor that she deserves as the mother of civilization.
Jason, that's correct. That's
And as
correct.
long as mother is not honored, then we're going to stay at an uncivilized society.
Yeah, and that's what we don't want to do in this plane. For what I've been seeing, is get stuck on this plane by not paying attention to spiritual guidelines and details, right? We get caught up in the human element of what the society entails instead of the spiritual aspects of it, because we're
Yes,
supposed to transition. You can't transition if you have not prepared yourself to transition.
right,
If you're
right.
not cultivating your spirit to transition, you can't transition. You're going to get stuck here on many different planes because you're not seeing the true value of your existence.
Yes. And once we come to really fall in love with ourselves.
Ourselves. There's no stopping us. We become an unstoppable force. We wake up with love. We wake up with purpose. We wake up with happiness. We wake up with challenges and changes. You know what I'm saying? That's going to make things better for not just for us, but all that surrounds us.
Oh,
Right? The Most High says in the kingdom of heaven that the land is laced with diamonds, silver, and gold. Right? There's abundance everywhere. Your life is supposed to be the same way from within the side. Abundance everywhere. We are the silver. We are the diamonds. We are the gold. We are all those things. Those things are not extract from us. All those things exist within us.
and in fact, we're made up of all those
All those
elements.
things, they exist within us. We are the first course of action for all those things. You cannot find yourself in anything in this world. You're not in anything in the world. I don't care what you obtain. You're not going to be there. Daughters, cars, money, possessions, you won't find yourself in any of those places.
What does it say in the Bible about all these things will be added to you? Yeah, first,
After
after
you seek the kingdom of heaven.
And not that
within
pie
you.
within you.
Within you, not this thing they got going on here. Because I think one of the greatest tricks that happen to us is to make us think that our God, our being exists outside of us.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Leadership with a twist is basically focused on the leadership from within.
Yes.
The guidelines of leadership from within. You don't want to see things broken in your life. You shouldn't want to see things broken within the societies that you're building or the people that you're building with. I was on many different paths, dealing with many different advocates, and you don't see the life in their eyes the way they're supposed to be. You know, they trying to get to the life of their eyes. They trying to get to their inner purpose. They striving to break through, but they get pushed out the rooms or slandered or miscalculated. You know what I mean? Or misjudged, right? And the light, when they come into that space, the light supposed to be encouraged for them to come into that space.
Yes. The
now,
light.
Who is this person? I was at an event one time and a man told me, I did a speech about leadership, and I wasn't trying to offend anyone. I was just talking about the leadership that resonated with my spirit and what I've seen and what I didn't see. And he came to me and said, it ain't who you know, Nathaniel, it's who know you.
Ooh.
Check it out. This is from a leader. Pay attention to that concept. That concept has more layers to it than an onion.
Wow. That's something to really ponder on.
Yeah. Think about it. So you go into these spaces of leadership with these leaders, and they say, you know what? I don't want to identify with that person. I don't want to know who that person is. I see their greatness. I see what they can do. I see their potential. I see they don't have all the ducks lined up in a row. But I don't want to associate with that person. I don't want to deal with that person. I'm not going to increase that individual right there because of this. I don't like the shoes they got. I don't like the way she wear her. I don't like the way she wear her scarf. Right? They try to justify not uplifting leaders in leadership spaces that other people that's not even there because they work in 9 to 5. Their lives are already consumed. These are men and women that have created space to create more space in the world, not just for themselves but for others. And they get hit with, it's not who you know, it's who know you concepts.
Wow. Isn't that so arrogant?
Yes.
That is so arrogant.
Very, very arrogant. And those statements can destroy many leaders. Many leaders or potential leaders get destroyed by other leaders, you know what I'm saying, and their callousness of handling leaders and helping leaders come out of weird and dark spaces.
Wow. Nathaniel, all I can say is thank you. I am so
Yeah,
honored to be in this space with you.
yeah, that's yeah, you know. And I got one more question. Is I just wanted to see, you know, you have this unique concept, you know, business, and it's amazing. I basically want to touch on it more. I know we talked about a lot of different topics, but I really want to come back again and really address
Okay.
this again.
Okay.
And but I want to see, where do you see your coaching, you know, career, you know, in the next, let's say, 1 to 5 years? Like, where do you see um this developing? Do you see yourself training other, you know, happiness coaches, or bringing forth this happiness that we actually need from within to resonate from without, you know, to give ourselves a level of abundance, and to be able to witness people dancing and singing in the streets?
Well, I actually see and I know that um, in the future, I don't know if it's going to be a year from now, 2 years, three
Mm,
years, or exactly how long it's going to be, but where I will be able to speak to millions
that's right. That's right.
and be able to be a living testimony to the
That's right.
power of pulling
Mm,
up on what is within us
that's correct.
instead of always looking outward and knowing that as in the Bible it says we are all gods.
The Quran says it.
Yes.
The text from the Buddhist says it. You know, Krishna, the text of Krishna says it. Every text, I've read many different texts, religious texts
Mhm.
and concepts. They all say the same thing. And the
Yes.
reason why they say the same thing is not because of, and I want to say this, is not because of the different cultures or the different races. It's because once you come to a realization of self, you come to a realization of self. You separate the things that had nothing to do with self, that was made by man, and only deal with the pure aspects of a thing, like Gandhi.
Hmm.
You
See, that's
start,
why I just love talking to you. You just come on, bring it, bring it.
yeah, you bring, yeah, because this is your purpose. When you come to your purpose, you want everybody else to come to their purpose.
Yes, that's the love.
It doesn't matter what culture you are. It
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter what religion you
matter
are. It doesn't
because
matter.
it doesn't. It's about humanity.
And what one figure showed us that in society that nobody talks about like that, about humanity? Buddha. Buddha came from wealth. His father was a king. He denounced that whole concept. He said, I'm not following this path. We're going to do righteous things in the land. We're going to cultivate life. We're going to cultivate the inner man, the inner spirit. We're going to look at that flower for an hour and take in all its beauty and all its substance. That's what we're going to do. We're going to stand here and just embrace the wind and let it just have its way with us. And let it speak to us what it's supposed to say to us, and do to us what it's supposed to do to us. And not try to control the wind, or pluck up the flowers, or uproot man in his innocence. We're not doing all those things. They still follow Buddha. They got statues of him and everything, but they don't follow his principles.
It's the same with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The same with Jesus Christ.
That's right.
The same that they we have the cross, we have all of these things,
We have all
but
the information
we don't follow in that footstep of the actions.
of the actions, of actions. And you don't want to lose something that has been freely given to you, which is life. Life, I say it again, life is about abundance. It's about increasing,
Yes.
right? I want to go in a room with 500 men that I was able to increase. And I
Yes.
want to see the other 500 men that they increase. I don't want to just see him. I don't want to just see her. I want
Yes.
to see the other men in the room that they increase as I increase them. If you
Yes.
come by yourself, you can't get in here. This convention is not for you. If you come here by yourself, go back home. You done messed the whole topic. You done forgot the whole lesson. Leave. Get out of here.
And bring some more people.
Bring some more people back. And when you don't just bring anybody, because when you bring them back, we're going to talk to them. We're going to find out who they really are. We're going to find out if you took the time to tap in to the energy source to increase them.
That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
Right there, to talk all of this power, this as you said, this energy, this power,
energy.
this ball of energy.
That's right. All energy. What the Most High said, he said a 3/4 chord cannot easily be broken. What are you talking about? Is it a riddle? Is he just talking about a parable? No, he's not. He's telling you when you intertwine strength, knowledge, wisdom, it cannot be easily broken.
So that's where I want to be, in that room with all of that energy.
When I come out of there, all that energy that's in that room, it's going to move me for the next 30 years. Right? It's there to move me forward.
Yes.
Right? I need my daily dose of increase.
Yes.
Right? I don't just need to tap into it. I need to have access.
I
want to plug myself in like a Tesla. I want to plug in like a Tesla, right? Right? And I want to plug in to other men, to other women, to other children. You know what I mean? To the animals. What Solomon said. Solomon said, man, I got bored talking to men, so I want to talk to the animals. And I got wisdom from the animals.
Yes.
And then when I got tired of the animals talking to me, I want to talk to the trees and find out what they had to tell me. And when the trees, I got the information, I want to talk to the insects. I want to find out, I want to talk to the queen bee. I want to find out where you get your honey from. What made you come with this concept for honey? You know what I'm saying? Now I want to go talk to the queen ant. I want to ask her, yo, man, where do you get your strength to be able to carry 10 times your weight? I can't even carry 10 times my weight. Where do you get the strength to do that?
Yes.
This is what Solomon did. He went to every element of life to bring about understanding and wisdom. You know, his ending was a different story, right? But he showed us that if we tap in to life itself and we tap into our fellow man, our fellow woman, that we could bring about an increase in our lives that we can't even imagine.
That's right.
When we become selfish with our lives and with our development and with our increase, we in turn decrease ourselves.
Yes.
Our gifts are here to give away freely.
Yes.
Right? There is a substance behind the gifts, because some men be like, oh, I just take advantage of men that give away gifts freely. You give individuals their substance as you want substance given to you. So we don't have to ask about price. We don't have to talk about these things. We don't have to talk about these things, because it's supposed to automatically resonate with ourselves to increase one another. You know, now you sign a car note, that's a different story. We're not talking about that. We're not looking at petty things. We're not, basing this concept on mediocre, tangible things. We're dealing with the intangible. Right? It's one of my statements I made on LinkedIn a while back. I said, I really, really want to see you again on a spiritual realm. That's it. That's it. We can do all this stuff here. We can be friends here and laugh and joke and eat together. We'll be able to do that on the next rim.
Yes. Yes.
And what going to prepare us to get to that next rim so we can embrace one another and show that the love we have for each other here has transcended to a higher level.
Yes. Yes. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
That's right.
Whether, I don't care if you a man, woman,
whatever it may be.
Whatever it may be, if you are nurturing humanity.
And that's, nurturing humanity. And we could sound off with that, but, I'm going to let you say your piece and we can sound off. But I know that we look for the universe to mold us, to comfort us, to prepare us for life.
Yes.
Right? And by us doing that, that means that we have taken on the responsibility that the universe has shared with us to continue to share with others.
That's right.
Do not take anything from the universe if you're not willing to share it back into the universe, you know what I'm saying, as a whole.
That's right. And that is really the sign of a great leader.
You talking about yourself too, so you know, you talk about
Oh,
this all day
thank-
and every day, right? You know, where you think I got it from? I was on your profile. I was getting some information off the profile, so that's where I got it from.
oh, I
Oh, that
love
was
it. I love it. I love it.
yeah, this is awesome, man. This is great. You know, it's good that we can, laugh, joke, and really embrace each other on these platforms. I see there's a lot of platforms out here, and and there's a lot of good that we can do, on these platforms, and start encouraging, things on a positive level. You
Yes.
know, start the healing process, with yourself, with other people, with your society, with your past. Start that healing process.
Yes.
This is what the happiness coach is about. She's about bringing you to your greatest awareness, which is you. You can
Yes.
have you can have a Tesla, but you might not have a Tesla inside you. You know, like be that.
Yes.
Yeah, you might not
And
be
when
that.
that Tesla is gone, what have you? What would you have?
What do you have? What do you have? So detach. I wrote an article the other day. Detach. Detach yourself. From things. Detach yourself from your belief system, your values, your principles, and be able to come into a new you, and seeing yourself on a whole different vibration than what
Yes.
society is actually saying to you, that you're only this or you're only that. Right?
Yes.
We're none of these. We're not defined by any of these things.
None
Whatever
of
you think that you define yourself by is a myth.
none
It
of them.
doesn't describe you in the least form. It doesn't explain who you are in the least fashion that's out there.
Yes.
Understand that any system that seeks to control you, to dominate you, and to belittle you has little to do with humanity.
That's right. That's right. And that's what it's all about, the love for humanity.
Humanity. That's it. That's it. You can get anything you want. You can get crypto, Bitcoin. You can do whatever you want to do, right? But to preserve who you are, to preserve your spirit, and to preserve for you to get a chance to move forward and have a healthy transition should be a great purpose for your life. Maybe something that's on your resume for you to be able to do with your life. That should be on your bucket list right there. That should be on your bucket list. That should be your ultimate goal right there. That's my bucket list right there. So when
Yes.
you go through the land, like Job said, he said when he went through the land, everybody knew him, everybody loved him, everybody
Yes.
appreciated him, right?
Yes.
You want that for your life,
Yes.
and the only way you get that is from within. The Most High says he protect those that are his, right? So, you may be fearful, you don't have it all figured out, but to tap in is the first source of information and education that you're going to receive to make your decisions moving forward.
Yes. Oh, you have given me so much, and I feel so energized. See, the one wonderful thing about interacting with someone that you know is a wonderful leader is you walk away feeling empowered to be better and wanting to be better. And see, and I'm getting that from you, Nathaniel.
That's right.
And that's the beauty,
That's right.
interacting with someone that is operating on a higher plane of thinking and not just about what we can see with the naked eye,
Yeah. See,
but
touch, heal, smell.
yes, there's
Yeah.
so much, so
Move
much.
outside the five senses. We're great in the five senses.
Yes.
You move outside those, it's our essence is on a frequency that man does not know, he does not understand it. And at many times, and I say this for leaders that come into the awareness, they may say I'm woke and things of that nature. Just understand that, an alien is never appreciated in a society.
That's why I was thinking earlier,
Yeah.
Nathaniel. I said, I bet Nathaniel get thrown out a whole lot of
Oh
meetings.
yeah, I do. They don't want me in these places, right? And and it just shows that you don't want to be a part of the whole. You don't always want to be connected to a
Oh,
whole system. You need to be your own system. And
that's
whatever
right.
systems that's out there that's for you, you will find them. Sometimes you may place yourself in the midst of a space and you may feel that that space belongs to you. The Most High will make you do certain things. He'll shift you around. Next thing you know, you over here. You're not in that place anymore. And then once everything dries out, once the Most High move everybody supposed to move, he'll bring you back into the system so you can do your work and do what you need to
Oh,
do.
I love it. I love it. You are so right.
I'm saying because we are not the true authors of our lives. Regardless if we want to believe that or not, we are not. Because if
Yes.
we're the true author of our lives, a man will be able to walk up to us and shoot us. We would be able to see it before he even got to us.
Yes.
We
And
would say,
see,
oh, I'm in danger. And you start running. He 3 blocks away. You just start running. What are you running for? There's nobody out here. You already seen it, right? We're not on that level yet. We're not seeing life on that level yet. When we tap in, we get intuition to tell us do this and do this and do that. The more we listen, the greater we become. The less we listen, the least we listen, we become weaker. We won't
mm-hmm.
be able to read the signs. We won't be able to pay attention. We won't be able to read
Yes.
body language and things of the nature because you have not tapped in to your source. So don't always think that you are the true author of your life because you're not. Not at all times.
And we because we've all been put here for a purpose.
You already
We
put
have
in for a purpose.
everybody have a purpose. We have a purpose, and we were given a purpose when we were brought into existence. We were brought into existence for a purpose.
And another note, I'm gonna put it on this. Another note is a scripture that says this. I gotta find it for you, and I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
The Most High was speaking to the angels, right? The Most High said this. He said, "Yo, man, this king is down here, and I don't like what he's doing. I don't like the direction that he's going in. I don't like what he's trying to accomplish." So the Most High said, "Man, listen, man. I need somebody to go down there and confuse him, to move him off his path, right?" So one of the angels said, "I'll do it." So the Most High said, "Okay, so tell me how you gonna do it." He said, "Well, I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna possess his right hand general,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna have his right hand general sabotage his whole movement." And that's exactly what he did. And the king wound up getting killed.
Wow.
He went down there, he infiltrated, you know what I'm saying, through his right hand general, which he always confided in. So he knew every secret because the king always confided in his general. And then he had the general uproot the king's
Wow.
kingdom from the inside out.
Wow.
And then the Most High killed the king after the angel accomplished his mission.
Wow.
And then the
Wow.
angel went back to the Most High after he finished his task. So don't always think that you're in control, that you always know what's going on. You will get
Wow.
dumbfounded very fast.
Oh yeah, and God has a way of things happening and bringing things in because He can say be, and then He determines exactly how it's going to be, and you will be like, well, oh,
Whoa, what
I have
happened?
so many stories
That's right.
about, and I'm not going to try to, and I want to say, Nathaniel, let's save a little bit for another time.
Oh yeah, we going. Yeah, we could. That's right. Yeah, we don't give them too much. We already been on for an hour, right? So we don't want to give them too
We've
much.
been on almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour 19 minutes. Yeah. So this is so
I know,
they got some podcasts out there for 5 hours, but we ain't gonna go that long, right? We can cut it right here, right? And that's what it is, But yeah, keep that energy.
Because what we're talking about is so uh in depth, and there's so much.
That's right.
There's so much.
There's so much. So we're gonna cut it short here, guys. We're gonna send y'all our blessings for the day. Always tap into this podcast, look through it, reach out to Jeanne, Muhammad, she'll let you know, Jeanne Muhammad, she'll let you know some ins and outs, give you some tricks in here and there. We're not a substance for be able to, let me get some money from you and stuff like that. It's not about that.
No,
This is
no.
about learning about who we are as leaders and helping us as leaders as we come to our understanding to increase the other leaders that come into our space and to ensure that any leaders that come into our space, they are cultivated, they are magnified, and they are increased. And do not leave
And
off of any platforms without bringing your leaders with you.
respected for the knowledge that we can bring to each other. And knowing that when I rise, you rise. When
That's
you
right.
rise, I rise.
I
Let's
rise.
all rise together.
That's correct. That's right. Because now you can't come into the midst of my circle because you don't know who's in this. You don't know who is who and what is what in the circle. If I go I had a position one time. We're gonna cut off for like 9 minutes, like 1:30.
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's cool.
Go ahead.
And
Go ahead.
I had a position one time where I had a director that was there, and sometimes he don't be there. Sometimes he
Okay.
doesn't be there.
Uh-huh.
And me, I'm always professionally dressed, tied, stuff like that. So, and then so when people come, they say, "Oh, you the director?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm not a director." But the director is, and the director come and say, "Yo, I like you, man, because nobody knows if you're the director or not, and no one should know if I'm a director or not." You
Mm-hmm.
should not be able to come into a space that you're unfamiliar with and be able to determine who is in the room and who's not in the room.
Yes.
You shouldn't. The leaders are responsible for this because they try to denounce other leaders by putting weird titles and concepts on them and make them think that they're less than when they're actually part of the full branch.
Yes. Yes.
I'm saying the branches are not graded. The branches are grading the trunk, and the trunk is not grading the branches. They're one
Right.
unit.
Right. Right. Because without the branches, it would just be a pole.
Yeah, what you gonna eat? What you gonna eat without the branches? The branch gotta grow the fruit, right? What kind of shade you gonna get? You ain't gonna get no shade. There ain't no leaves on the branches. Where
And
you
you
gonna get the
can't have
shade
the
from?
branches without the tree.
Yeah. So stop the separation. The
Yeah.
separation of leadership has to stop.
Yes. Yes.
These systems that they're creating to denounce the leaders and not let leaders into the room is not who you know is who know you. Weird concepts. We have to really stop those concepts from taking place and coming into our midst of leadership. We're here to do things, right? We're here. We have work to do. I went to an event yesterday as a brother that I'm going to do a podcast soon, and name is Nat, the photographer, but he has created a comic book and a comic book for children. It says we have work to do, right? We're not
Okay.
here to play games with these different systems and these different people.
Okay. What is the name of the man that you were saying that you're gonna do the comic book with?
His first is wait because his name is Nat for Cal. I think it's Nat for Cal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he is a professional photographer. He actually follows social media movements. He actually deal with advocates
Okay.
that's actually bringing forth change. So his whole concept is around that leadership bracket of actually increasing leaders, bringing
Oh,
a story
okay.
out. So he's doing videos, he's doing commercials, doing documentaries.
Is he on
Just
LinkedIn?
I don't think he's on LinkedIn, but I'm gonna check. If he's on LinkedIn,
Okay.
I will link you to him. But he's out. I
Okay.
went to his birthday party. He had a book launch yesterday, birthday party. I went out there briefly. I was super tired, so I only stayed for like 2 hours or whatever that I wound up leaving. But I actually wanted to go there and support the brother and show him that I'm in conjunction with what he's doing. I actually love what he's doing.
Okay.
He's new in his development, and I like to link with leaders that's new in their development, like me. You know what I mean? Because we need that leadership umph. We need that push from other leaders. We need
Right.
to let leaders know that you are worthy You know what I'm saying? You got what it takes. If you didn't have what it takes, you wouldn't be here. You
That's
wouldn't be
right.
having these certain conversations. You won't be trying to explore different paths. So you already have what it takes. And sometimes we do have to cultivate each other. Don't think that every man, every woman gonna come to you as a finished product. That's not gonna happen. Some
That's
people you
right.
will have to cultivate. Some people you will not.
And the really thing is, if you come meet someone that think that they are the finished product, that they don't have anything else to learn.
You got to run, and you got to run fast. because they're not gonna allow you to grow. They're not gonna allow you to take root in them. They're not gonna create a branch for you in their system. You know what I'm saying? The branch is gonna come, they're gonna keep snipping it and snipping it and snipping it, and it's never gonna form. They're gonna keep chopping the branches off, you know, so they can be lonely at the top. You know,
I love it. I
that's what
love
they're
it.
gonna do. You know, so you want to be that leader, you know, that people want to talk about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, you know, and Gandhi and Sojourner Truth and Ivy Wells. These are leaders that's of our nation that created branches all
Yes.
around them. And you can
Yes.
see the branches because you have leaders that actually springboard from these people that's still in existence, that's still in powerful positions, that's still actually doing things within the community. If these leaders
Yes.
did not create branches, these men would not be out here. These women would not be out here. They will not be pursuing a higher level of understanding. See, and that's what they understand. Just because you wasn't connected directly to Martin Luther King does not mean he didn't create a branch for you. He created a philosophy for you. He created ideologies for you.
And the beautiful thing about that, Nathaniel, is all of these men, they did not make themselves. There were they
Were
developed,
developed.
and they developed their philosophy from somebody else. And the beautiful thing about that is we all have the capacity to pull up on the same things
That's correct. That's correct.
that
All of us. Every last
all
one of us. There is no big odds and little U's when it comes to this living life and being able to express your true freedom of humanity.
that's right.
Right? There's nothing else. You know,
That's why I
that's the
always,
icing on the cake.
yes, and I always say, and not always, but I say, freedom to live is a birthright.
It's right. That's correct.
It's a birth.
Because entity, you know, you got to be real careful because those that are born should not speak against those that have not been born.
Mm. Mm. Ooh, now say that again. That's a
Yeah, those that are born should not speak against those that have not been born.
wow. Now that is really something to really think about because we don't know, do we?
That's right.
What we don't know,
Don't don't play games with things of that nature because it has nothing to do with you and it's on a higher level than you. They're out here playing with Roe versus Wade, with the
ooh,
women's civil rights, reproductive rights, and stuff like that. They out here saying weird things and trying to change laws, you know, that's going to bring about detriment of life itself.
wow.
That law is going to change the course of the women's history for centuries if they allow this law and this bill to pass through.
Wow.
All these things that Sojourner Truth did and Ivy Wells and Sarah B. Anthony and all them did is going to be for no reason.
Mm, wow. See, you rendered me speechless right there. You, because I'm really thinking about all of that, and you rendered me speechless because that's a lot to think about.
It's a lot to think about. It's not. It's not words. They make it seem like it's a word thing. It's see, we got to get outside of the words. We got to get outside. We got to look at the
Wow.
principle, the spiritual
Wow.
principle that is behind the thing. That's a spiritual thing that they're doing. That's not a physical thing that they're doing. It's a
Wow.
spiritual thing that they're doing. They bring forth a spiritual curse in the land on purpose, just so they could have their way with the other counterparts of their existence.
Wow. Wow.
And they call it a law. It's not a law. It's a spiritual uprootment of the success that the women have been able to do in the society.
Wow.
The building block they have put into place, you know what I'm saying? Now they're going to create stumbling blocks for those building blocks they have put into place. They're going to stop the new progressive leaders from coming forth. They're going to stop the new leader that wasn't even born yet from even coming into the land.
Wow.
They're playing a greater game than what you think they're playing. They're out here playing word games. These people out here thinking that this is about words and their laws and stuff like that. No, this is not about these things. It's about the spiritual element of a thing. You don't put a curse on the spirit. You don't stop something from coming forth, and you already here. Who are you? Who do you think you are?
Wow. Yes. That's taking the place of the Most High.
That's correct. You're
That's
playing
taking
with
the place.
fire.
That's taking the place of the Most High.
And now you can see why there's so many ghost stories on TV.
Now you gave me something else to think about.
Right?
I'm gonna. I'm.
They getting trapped. They getting trapped. So now they're on TV as a ghost.
Now you gave me something else to think about. Oh, life in your household must be something else. I can
Yeah.
just hear the conversation you and your wife must
Oh,
have,
you have all type of conversations. Yeah, that's true.
and
Yeah,
your
we have.
children. I mean, how
Oh
many children?
yeah,
How many children?
I have four children, two boys and two girls.
Okay. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
my youngest live with me. She's 11.
Okay, so I mean, I can just say, oh my God, there go Dad again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Because you want to leave life behind you, not things.
Right. Right.
People
Right.
leaving things behind them. They're not leaving
Right.
life.
I'm hearing the siren. This is kind of like a little off there, but in New York, there's probably the sirens all the time, right?
All day, every day. The police sirens, the firefighter sirens, and the ambulance sirens. All day, every day.
Wow. That is really indicative of something that's really happening there as a
That's right.
society there.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. It shows what happens in this society. And you see, especially in the society I'm in now, that the value of life is not basically formed to be on a higher substance.
Mm,
It's not appreciated on the way that it's supposed to be. See, when you as a life force go into any space, you as a life force is supposed to be appreciated for that space. Just by entering that space is your appreciation. Not what you said, not what you did, not who
mm,
knows you, not who you know, right? But the fact that you took the time out of your existence to bring
mm,
your life force there,
mm-hmm,
that's the substance that's supposed to be looked at.
mm-hmm,
I'm gonna give you an example. I went to an event with my supervisor. I worked on a job. I had a supervisor. He said, "Y'all need you to come with me." It was the Department of Housing
mm-hmm.
was having one of their monthly meetings, and so he asked me to come there. I went there, and I'm standing there. I'm talking to him, and I look across the room, and I saw a woman, a black woman. She saw me.
Mm-hmm.
She lit up like a light bulb and started running towards me. And I'm standing there. My supervisor's standing there. I'm standing here. I don't know how. I've never met her before. He just started running towards me. My supervisor, He looked at me. I looked at him. He said, you know, I said, no, I don't know her. Right? She runs up on me. She said, excuse me. I said, yes. What's happening, sister? How you doing? She said, yeah. The spirit told me to come talk to you because you're gonna help me with my concerns.
Mm.
I said, okay, let's have it. Well, how can I help you, sister? And she was like, yeah, I have a project. I'm opening up a halfway house for women. You know, I'm having an issue with deciphering it or breaking it down. And we talked about 20 minutes about how she can put it together, how she
Hmm.
can structure it, you know. And she was like, thank you, I appreciate it. I knew you could help me. And she went about her way. And I never saw her again.
Wow.
That's the
That's
energy you're supposed to get when you go into spaces, when you go into rooms, man. That's how you're supposed to be treated. You know what I'm saying? Especially by those that know you and say that they love you. You know what I'm saying? Because
yes.
love is not something that just easily goes away.
Oh no,
It doesn't
it
easily go
doesn't.
for you to just turn
Uh-uh.
off, for you as a leader just turn off love for people. That means you didn't have love for these people in the first
See,
place.
see, unconditional love. See
Yes,
that's that lasting for real love. When your love does not have conditions
additions
attached to it.
to it. If
I
he
will
did
love
that, I
you.
will love her. If she did that, I will love her. Nobody got time for that stuff.
And see, when he gives me what I want, I will love.
That's
Or when
weird.
she gives me what I want, I will love her. No,
And somebody did that to you, you wouldn't be here.
no.
You know, many leaders tell me on the thing, I'm happy on my platform. You know, it means a lot that I see you on my platform. Okay, how does that translate into substance? How does that translate into making sure that I'm here after you're gone to help others that come behind me?
Right.
Because it's not just about you.
It's not.
If I bring
It's not.
awareness to you, if I bring awareness to your platform, bring awareness to my platform, so I can continue to bring awareness to others, that way we can increase each other. Because
That's right.
you might fall one day, and I might not help you, but one of the men I help may help you.
That and that is one of the things that I always say to people whenever I perform an act of kindness, and they say, "Well, how can I repay you or whatever?" Just pay it forward.
Pay it
Don't
forward.
you know? And one thing my father would say always, he said, "When you do something good for someone, and you're always looking for money as a repayment." He said, you have not done good for that person. They just hired you.
Ooh, that's deep. Ooh, wow, yeah, wow. Because he's showing you that you didn't do the good that you said you did.
You didn't. They just hired you.
Yeah, you didn't do no good. You was looking for something on the back end. You were trying to fill your substance,
Yes,
right? And it just shows as far as gifts are gifts. You know, to give out free gifts is to give out free gifts. To give out life is a gift.
that's right.
The structure laws around you, or structure the laws that come into your space, or to make sure those laws are settled and structured is a great gift. Well, I'm gonna give an example. I ran into a guy like 3 years ago. But the guy had offered me a position to work in his organization.
Okay.
He said, "I like you, brother. I like you, man. Energy." I said, "Yeah, man. Let's do it, man." Right. So I went to. He was in Long Island. I went. I did the interviews, everything. Everybody loved me, you know, and I got the position. Right.
Okay.
So I got the position. I went up to HR, you know, to sign up the paperwork and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in the office, the HR woman, she said, I can ask you a question because I'm about to sign paperwork and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, what's your question? She said, can you tell me what salary they said is giving you? So I said, what is the salary? She said, oh no, what salary did they tell you? I said, is there a different salary for the salary you have as HR as opposed to the salary that they offered me? And
Ooh.
she was like, I gotta call him. I said, you don't even gotta call him. I don't want the position.
Ooh. Powerful.
I said, I'm out of here. And I
Powerful.
got right back on the Metro North and went back to Brooklyn because the company was disempowering professional leaders by not giving them their full substance.
That's powerful, Nathaniel.
And the man that brought me to that space, and it's the only way I told the story, the man that brought me to that space, he got upset with me because I didn't take the position. And I said, don't worry about it, brother. It's not your organization. You only a worker there. You know, don't take it personal. You know, it was my decision because I seen what was happening and I'm not getting caught up in that. And I didn't speak to him for 3 years. The man contacted me the other day out of nowhere and said, brother, I need your help.
Ooh. Look at how things come around. You
And I
stood on your integrity. You stood on, but that's because you know you.
y'all know me.
You know you, and when something don't ring right with you.
It ain't right. It's just not right. We're unique and we all get unique signals about what's happening in our lives and we have to respond to them and adhere to them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And by him not judging me, because at first he judged me, but when I told him I don't take it personal and he stepped back, he allowed himself to have a doorway to come back to me if he ever needed me in life. And that's exactly what he did. And I was happy for that.
Yes.
I was
That's
happy that he
beautiful.
knew that he could reach out to me and I would be a brother to him.
That's
And that
beautiful.
he didn't take that personal, and that he allowed me to be in my uniqueness and accept me for my uniqueness and not put me in a box because my uniqueness disturbs him or makes him
Right.
uncomfortable.
Yes. Yes. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. That there's so much in, well, there's so much in all the stories that you have told today, Nathaniel. There's so much power in that, and anyone listening to this podcast, they could go and pick up on and listen to the first 15 minutes, listen to the
He said,
15
last of
minutes
it.
in it, listen
That's
to,
right.
there are just so many gems that have been dropped that are empowering to anyone that is seeking to just elevate just a little bit higher.
Yeah, because I've fallen so many times, you know, and my thing is to not embrace the fall, but embrace the condition of the fall.
And what you learned from the
Yeah,
fall.
the conditioning. What you learn from that for?
Yes.
What is conditioning you for? What is it? Why is the fall a purpose for you? Why would it be your purpose? Out of everybody's purpose around you, why is it your purpose? Right?
Right.
Understand the lesson in that purpose so you can move past it and not keep repeating it. And then help others when you become a life coach or consultant, whatever. Come out of that space. Don't be ashamed of your fall. Don't get magnified or don't get
Oh, Nathaniel.
dissuaded by people because you didn't see they fall or because they was able to overcome a fall that you wasn't. Don't get caught up in that. Move past that whole energy and focus on what my fall was about and how do I lift myself up and increase myself. And do not look for the applause of man
That's right.
because
And
he has
see,
nothing to do with
yes,
you.
nothing.
He has
And
nothing to do with you.
that and that is so, and that's what is so freeing. That is so freeing when you can look at your failures, look at the things that you are not necessarily proud of that has happened
That's
in
right.
your life,
That's
but you
correct.
can acknowledge this is what happened. This is what happened. This is who I was. This is what I went through. This is what happened to
Well,
me. But know that it does not define who you are, but it
and this
defines
is
who you
why I'm
are.
becoming. This is
And
what I'm
that's
becoming.
right. This is part of who I am
And
today.
becoming. That's right. And
Yeah, if I
tomorrow,
had not gone through this and
we wouldn't
picked
be
my,
talking to a happiness coach. We wouldn't be talking to a happiness coach right now. Right? The happiness coach did not experience pain and sorrow on a high frequency. She
Yes.
would never got to the point of being a happiness coach.
Never.
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 Embrace your faults. Embrace your faults. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Don't be ashamed of what you've been through. Dust yourself off and keep it moving. If you had a blueprint for life, you wouldn't be here. You'd be up there with
That's
the Most
right.
High. You saying? Don't get caught up in people mysteries about this fantasy or that fantasy. They got this, they got that. All that stuff is hogwash. It means nothing.
That's right.
It doesn't determine their end. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't determine what's going to happen to them in the next 5 or 10 years. It happened to the brother, that was a pioneer for Grandmaster Flex. Look what happened to that man.
Yes.
He's in prison 16 years for taking another man's life when his path, he was cultivating men. He went from cultivating men and empowering men and opened up a system to men that they would never would have had if he did not step up and open that system up.
Right.
There would be no Grandmaster Flex. There would be no rappers that came out of Grandmaster Flex. There would be no men that Grandmaster Flex actually encouraged and opened up different things. So he opened up a portal in the world that brought forth life. And he forgot about that.
Wow. Wow. See, and that is, but we never know where life will take us.
That's correct.
And so that's why it's important for us to really dig deep and get to know who we truly are.
And what's that word you said earlier with the G? What was that G word you? The G word you used earlier. No, okay. The other G word.
Oh, gratitude.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Oh,
gratitude.
We can have a whole show on that, Nathaniel.
That might be the next one then.
Okay, well, let's. That sounds like a. Oh yes,
yeah.
It is
gratitude, man. Have gratitude for your life and for the lives of other people, man.
And and in that gratitude is, and you had said something earlier about this not judging, not being so judgmental about where somebody may be in their life, and not because there, but by the grace of God go I. I say that all the time. When I see somebody in a certain situation and they're going through certain things, and I am so grateful for where I am, but I will look at someone and say, I cannot judge. I shouldn't judge that person. I don't know why God is allowing that person to be in that space at this time. But I know there, but by his grace, I could be right there.
That's right, but you could be that, and that's the point I was making. I didn't want to say it earlier, but that's the point I was making. Because I'm able to see this demise, that means that my demise can also be of that.
Yes.
I cannot witness something that I cannot become.
That's right.
Whether it may be greater than me or lower than me. Right? Because I witnessed that, it can be my reality.
And
I have to be grateful that the Most High has protected me, spiritually and mentally, and according to my heart, for me not to fall to a space where I do not recognize myself.
Yes. That gratitude.
That's what that is. That's gratitude. And gratitude, mercy, and charity will take you a long way in this existence. Way more than your Tesla, farther than your Tesla, and farther than your money.
Yes. And that's why I'm laughing, because my philosophy always is I'm always going to have what I need.
That's
as
correct.
long as I know the source that provides it, and I'm grateful to that source for providing for it. And so I'm happy with, I have a little Honda Civic.
That's right. That's a nice car.
I'm so happy for my little Honda Civic.
Yeah, because it got an engine. It has an engine in there, right?
Oh,
It has an engine, and it got a steering wheel, right? It got the brakes, right?
and it gives me where I want
It,
to go.
that's right. So
And I have passed people that are driving, their Mercedes and all, and they're nice. And actually, I've never even wanted a Mercedes. I've never even desired to have a Mercedes or a Jaguar. They're nice and all that, but
that's
I
cool.
actually have never ever had a great desire, because I always know that whatever I truly ever want
You can
and
get it.
desire, I have the desire to,
So
but
there's
I
no reason to envy. There's no reason to envy it. No one cares about what you have and what you don't have, right? It's a story my friend gave me a long time ago, a couple years ago. I have a friend that he was in the streets and stuff like that, and I used to talk to him about it. But he was glorifying this man. Like every time he said, "Oh my God, I love this guy, man. I wish I was this guy." Oh, and so anytime he saw the guy rode up in a Bentley. He had G cool clothes on and stuff. You think
oh
he was a
yeah,
model and stuff, right?
Gucci back, huh?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, and so he probably got some stocks and probably on the board for Gucci and stuff like that, right? But my friend was like, he came to me really upset. And I was like, what happened, man? He said, yo, man, this guy, man, he was telling me that he had a business, he was running a business, and I was asking him to put me down with the business and stuff like that. And he said, I found out that the guy was burglarizing rich people.
Oh wow.
And he was like, he said, man, I'm highly upset because he sat there and projected this persona, what I'm saying, that was false, and he encouraged me to follow suit with his persona, but he never was going to bring me into it because he was doing falsehood.
Ooh.
And I never would have knew he was doing falsehood. I'm saying, emulating this man, envying this man, glorifying this man, and his whole man structure was a lie.
Mm.
And he said, man, I'm never doing that again. I said, yeah, I told you, don't put yourself into other people's existence. Move yourself out of the existence of other people. Move yourself out of the mindset of other people, the
Right.
values of other people, the
Yes.
principles. Move yourself away from all
Yes.
those things of other people so you can get to you. And if those people need you to help them to cultivate, you have your substance and you have your power to bring
Right.
your energy and your light to the table.
Yes.
That's what you do as a leader. That's leadership. Define who you
Yes.
are. Bring yourself to your full power, your full purpose. I don't care. We got to meditate for a week straight. Let's go to Central Park and pray together. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's do a half a day fast. You know what I'm saying? And then after the fast, go bust out some beautiful meat. You know what I'm saying? Bring out the
That
best
is,
of the fruits
yes.
and the vegetables that we need to have. Let's do these things for each other as leaders. This is leadership. To
Yes.
cultivate leadership within the circle. Not just when we on a platform, but outside your platforms. Do I
Yes.
know your sons? Do I know your daughters? Do I know your grandmother? Do I know your grandfather? Do we know these things about each other? You say, damn, such and such, such and such was taking care of his grandmother and he just passed away. Let me go see how his grandmother doing. But I don't know your grandmother, so it's impossible for me to do it.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they may speak about cultivation, but the cultivation is not there.
No.
And it
No.
has to be there. It has to be
Yes.
there if
Yes.
you want men to continue and women to continue to cultivate your past and cultivate
Yes.
what you're trying to do and accomplish, right? Bring it to the table. Bring forth substance of life.
Yes.
We're chasing behind things that are dead, and not bringing life to them.
I am so that is so true. So true. We focus on the things that really are so unimportant. They really are. They really are,
They
because
really
all of
are.
these things will be added unto
On
us,
to you. That's correct. They're already there for us.
depending on whether you want them or not.
You just got
Sometimes,
to tap in. You just got to tap in. They're there.
right,
They're there. And
right.
you want to surround yourself, what we talked about earlier, around positive energy, good energy. The energy you're around You want them to be like a carbon copy of you.
That's
You don't want to
right.
have no separation of the energy that's around you. I don't care if you're a CEO. I don't care what you are. I went to a nonprofit the other day. I was looking for one of my partners. I'm helping them do some stuff, and I went to the agency, and they said, "Who are you?" I say, "I'm Nathaniel Evans. I have a consulting company. I have an LLC. I have my own business, whatever." They said, "Oh, you're independent." I'm not an independent, sir. I am a business. I'm a LLC corporation. According to the law, I am an entity. I am not an independent.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the words they use to try to dissuade leaders from their leadership.
Wow. Isn't that? Oh, I
And
always
they
say
don't even know, and they don't even know what they're doing.
that's demonic. I always say that's demonic. And you know what? See, because with me, like with the same that I believe with you, my life coaching, I don't life coach everybody.
You can't.
No, everybody that comes to me, some people have are so on such a low vibrational level that they may know and they say, "Oh, I would," but they don't even have that desire to come up from that.
Which means that they're putting your path to bring you into their space and not the other way around.
Yes.
You got to protect your energy.
Yes.
It's a
Because
valuable source. It's like my wife said, stop being so accessible. And that's how I learned it. Stop being so accessible.
that's
You have to
right.
be able to protect your energy, and you need to know who your energy is going to resonate with. Because I may see a man I can't help, but does not mean I can't help him directly. I'll be like, well, this brother is good for him. This sister may be good for him. I'll refer him over here. I'll
That's
bring this person
right.
over here.
That's right.
I don't have to push him to the wayside. It's just that I know I don't have what it takes
That you
to
don't
really
have
help
you
that
don't
person.
have
But don't mean somebody else may have it, right? It's like I work for a nonprofit, and the guy told me, we're gonna do we're doing fatherhood program, and we're gonna train sex offenders. And I said, well, I can't train sex offenders because I don't have the training for that. He said, but I do. I said, listen, let me say it to you again, in the same way I just said it to you. I cannot train sex offenders because I don't have the training for that. Not only do I don't have the training for that, I also don't have the desire for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't resonate with me. So I can't do it.
That's right. And as you said, and you said something very important, that does not mean that there aren't people that are qualified to do that. I refer people all the time to I'm not qualified to help you.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. But she is. Let me call Keisha real quick. Keisha, you got her? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's right? Because that's part of your gift. Is learning your strengths about who you are
Yes.
and accepting your boundaries, accepting your limitations and not trying to be something that you are not. Stop trying
Let
to
me call
please
on
the
this
world.
leader over here. Let me call on
Yeah,
this.
that's right. I don't want to be something that I'm not. I want to be what I am, and those that come to me as I am, I can help them.
Right.
But those that do not come to me as I am, I can't help them.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Accept me for who I am, my weirdness, my uniqueness, whatever you want to call it. Accept it for what it is. Let me help you in the capacity I want to help you in, and that's it. We're not gonna get married. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? We're not gonna
That's
be whisked away and go to a secret
right.
land and stuff like that. No, we're just gonna do this work right here.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? I'm gonna
That's
do
right.
everything I can and make sure this work goes. Hopefully it goes and stays on the vibration that it's
That's
supposed
right.
to. And
That's
then I
right.
can take that energy from that vibration. I can say that those 20 women right there need help. Let me throw that over here. Those 10 men need help. Let me throw that over here. Let us
That's
do
right.
those things.
That's
Right?
right. That's
You
right.
know, and that's it. And that's it. And this is for leaders to know that you are a leader. If you define yourself as a leader, if you see your leadership quality, you see that you have come through some unfamiliar strongholds, you know, regardless of what it may be, tap into your leadership. Don't let no one define you. Don't let no one redefine you. That's one thing I want to
That's
recognize.
right.
Redefine you. Let no one redefine you as a leader.
And
Stay in,
never,
stay
never be ashamed of where you have been
been and where you're at.
and where you're at. Never be ashamed,
Never, yeah, that's right. Never be ashamed
you know,
because the
and
shame translates into harmful entities.
yes.
Shame translates into suicide, you know, taking lives of other people, you know, harming your children, your spouses, you know, those things, that shame is a torch you don't need to carry around.
And when you need help, do not be ashamed to
To ask
ask
for it.
help.
Yeah, and that's, you know, the guy I was talking about earlier, he called me and I said, yo, man, he called me with something else. And I said, yo, do you need my help, brother? Because you called me with this and that. And he was like, yeah, you know, I'm just, I don't know how to ask brothers for help, man. And I was
Mm,
like, you know, that's not a good thing that, you know, us as men are shameful of our past when we fall or things don't work out, to reach out to others to make sure that our fall, you know, we don't become a despicable aspect for our lives.
right, right,
Don't
right.
shame don't shame a man further to make him go further in the hole when you can help that man come out
That's
of that
right.
space.
That's
Don't do
right.
that. Don't do that and then say I'm a leader. Leader of what? Mass destruction? Like what
Where
kind
are
of
you
leader are
leading
you?
people to? Where are
Where
you?
you leading people to? And when you transition, who's gonna come find you as a leader? Who's gonna look for you? I'm gonna end off because I know we gotta end off in like 2 hours, but I'm gonna end with this one story right here, you know.
Oh, you sure?
And
Wait a minute. You sound
I'm
like my
sure,
minister. Wait a minute. You sound
yeah.
like Minister Farrakhan. Minister
Oh
Farrakhan
man,
always
let
be
me
saying,
let
in
me
my
look at my
wait a minute,
let
in
me look
my
at my sermon. Yeah, let me look at my sermon real quick. Let me see. I might have missed a line over here somewhere.
okay, wait a minute. Nathaniel, in your conclusion,
My conclusion. Yeah, so it's a passage in the Bible that you can find where the Most High speaks about three rich men. The three rich men were all brothers. On a certain day of the week, they would go to the front of the gate of the kingdom, and they would go there only for the purpose to laugh at and basically sneer and scorn the poor,
oh wow,
the
okay.
homeless. They would go and laugh. You're homeless. You're poor. Ha 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 ha. You want change? Kick dust at them. Take this dust. Right.
Oh,
This
okay.
are the things that they were doing. They ridiculed the poor. You know what I'm saying? But everything else they were doing good. They were doing good with everything else. But the poor, they harm the poor.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the passage showed you that one of the brothers went into hell.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So while the brother was in hell, um he looked up and he saw Abraham walking in heaven. And he called Abraham. Abraham! And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Abraham like
Mm-hmm.
he looking around at
Okay.
first,
Okay.
and then he looked down. When he looked down, he saw the man in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then Abraham said, what do I have to do with you? Because now remember, Abraham is in heaven, this man is
Right.
in hell.
Right.
So he asked him, what I have to do with you? And he said to Abraham, I don't need you to do nothing for me personally because my fate is my fate. I
Mm-hmm.
brought myself here by the way that I live in life,
Okay.
right? So
Right.
this
Right.
is my testimony to the way I lived in life. That's why
Right.
I'm where I'm at. He
Right.
said, however, my two brothers are still alive. They still in the land, right? But they were doing the same thing I was doing. I don't want them to come down here with me.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked Abraham, can you go to them? know what I'm saying, as an apparition, you know what I'm saying, and tell them to stop their ways, to stop mocking and
Right.
ridiculing the poor,
Okay.
right? Abraham said, I could not.
Ooh, okay.
He said, the reason why I cannot go to them is because they have already hardened their hearts
Oh, yeah.
according to their ways. He said, even if I go back as a ghost and scare them, I'm only going to scare them for a short period of time. When they don't see me anymore, they're going to forget that I came to them. And they're going to think that it was a dream. And they're going to go back to the nature of who they are.
Mm. Mm.
And he left it like that.
Mm.
And he kept on with his brisk. He was doing a brisk walk, and he kept moving.
Oh, wow. That's another story that is going to take that's a lot of thought to
That's
really
right.
find all those golden nuggets.
So learn from these things. These things are here for our accountability. They're not here for us to be consumed by them. They're here for our accountability.
And that story, what I picked up on it also is again going back to there, but by the grace of God go I. Seeing what other people are going through, seeing the suffering, and not really connecting on a human level and understanding that because that man is homeless and that lady is hungry and that child is being until I start working to help eradicate all of that, no matter what I have, no matter what I may achieve,
Accomplish. It don't mean
come,
nothing.
it means nothing.
It means nothing. You see 70-year-old, 80-year-old people right now homeless. It means nothing. They
It
were
means
CEOs. They were CEO jobs when they was in their 20s and 30s. They wrote amazing paper when they was in college. You know, they opened up a business when they was in their 50s, and they lost everything when they was in their 70s.
right.
They have no substance now to cultivate them in their latter days.
And that's where suicide comes in for a lot of people that lose all of those things
That's right.
and then they don't see any meaning in life.
More like, I don't see no meaning in life anymore. I can't go to the store and buy a Starbucks coffee like I used to, so my life is meaningless. My life means nothing. You can't associate your life to Starbucks coffee, to a dead face on a dollar bill. All those men on a dollar bill, they all dead. Not one of those men on a dollar bill is alive. Not one of them. They're all dead, right? They said they're gonna put a Harriet Tubman on money. She's dead too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they keep on emulating dead men and their money. You know what I'm saying? Towards live men. We're alive. So why they not live men on the money? Why are they dead men on the money? And we're alive and we're life.
Ooh,
If
that's a good question.
if money is life, why is not real life on the money? Why is it dead beings on the money
Oh, that's
if
a
money is
good
life?
question. That's a good question.
So we
Mm.
should not associate ourselves to a dead thing.
Wow.
It's a
Okay.
substance that we use in the land, but it is not an association of us. It's a dead thing. It's been a dead thing from the beginning, from the inception of it. It has been dead. When they came to the concept to put dead men on the money, it came about to be a dead thing from the beginning. And it's going to be made a dead thing because that's the introduction of it. That's the spirit that it came in. It's going to stay in that spirit until they change
Ooh.
it and bring new life to it. It's always going to stay
Ooh.
dead men, and always death is going to follow that money because it came forth through dead men.
Dead
And those
men on dead things.
That's
Ooh.
right, because those dead men did not have principles for life that's on that money. Those dead men that's on that money was against life.
Mm. Mm.
Find one of
Wow.
the presidents that was about life that was on that money. Pick one of them. Abraham Lincoln? No. What's that? George Washington? No. Roosevelt? He was a murderer, a
Mm.
mass murderer.
Wow.
Franklin? No. None of them.
Ooh.
Not one of them represents life. So we have to stop using the money to represent life. We are life.
Yes.
So we have to protect each other now to start educating ourselves to know what these things are and what they consist of and what's the backstory, the spiritual backstory, not just the physiological backstory of what they want on a piece of paper, but the spiritual backstory of a thing. And that's when we make our determination on what direction it will go to, and we fall in love with it.
Yes. Oh, what they said, my head is about to explode. You have given me so much, but I love it because see, that to me is life. Unless we are expanding and
We are decreasing.
growing,
We are decreasing.
yes,
You can't do
y-
both at the same time. Either you're going to elevate or you're going to decrease.
yes,
So you have to tap into your elevation. You know, I'm reading this book called Leadership, and he's saying that every single day you have to find a purpose for your life. Not the
yes,
purpose of yesterday, but the purpose for today. And every single day has to find itself in that same purpose. Not what
yes,
I did yesterday, not my accomplishments yesterday, but what I'm doing today. I'm
right,
saying is going to determine my tomorrow. And then my tomorrow, what I do in that tomorrow is going to determine my next tomorrow.
yes,
Right? That's the element of who we are and how we elevate. You know what I'm saying? The
yes,
past is the past. We learn from it, but it's not us. It might have taken a couple of things from us. It might rob us from a couple of gifts. We might have lost a few visions back there, you know, but we don't need them no more because they're gone, right? We still need them. We have them. So now we have to recreate. We have to
and we have to
come into
just
our new purpose.
let
Let
them
it be.
go, and
Let
let
it
them go.
be.
Yes,
Let it be. That's it.
yes,
It is what it is. I think you say it is what it is. That's it. You know, don't follow behind what you have not created.
yes,
You didn't create money. You didn't create diamonds, gold, cars, none of that stuff. All these men driving cars, they didn't build none of those cars themselves.
yes, right.
All the men that got money, they never worked in a money factory.
And that's why it all comes back to what is within.
That's what it all.
What is
This is the core.
what is
Always
within.
come. It always come back to the core. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying, because even in some of the most holistic places where you might say the nonprofit would be a holistic entity, they have so many physiological attributes that you can't even get, you know what I'm saying, to the spiritual element of it.
Mm. And you know what? I and this is kind of no, it's not off the subject, but that's one of the reasons I did not when I went deciding my business. Decided to go LLC because with a nonprofit and you ask for grants and help with doing this and that, there are too many. You lose control. At least that's the way I saw it.
Yes, it's a lock and key.
Yes,
It's a lock and key, and you're locked right in. Whether you
I
may
want.
become a worker, whether you say you're the director, the vice president, the president, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Then it's not laced with the spiritual components that are required to bring forth change in the communities.
Mm-hmm,
It's not there.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If it was there, a lot of harm that's in the community would not be there. So when you get
Mm-hmm.
caught up in, I got to get a paycheck. You know what I mean? I've been caught up in
Yes,
that situation, right? Where I have a family, I have a daughter that I really love, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to deprive her of the things that's afforded to her, but I don't want to deprive myself of the things for me to become,
that's right.
right? So if I keep locking myself into this thing, I'm not going to become who I'm supposed to be.
That's
So
right.
I'm not going to be able to give her the true gift of who I am. I'm going to give her the gift of who they say I am.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to make decisions on our leadership to not be defined or cultivated by a substance that is not increasing us or the view of our communities.
See, and that's where that balance come in. I talk about that a lot also in my coaching and my podcast are creating balance. See, when things are out of balance, see, you're trying to balance out the what you know your daughter should have,
Mm-hmm.
your responsibilities to your daughter. You also have a responsibility to yourself,
That's correct.
and it has to be in balance.
It has to be in balance. One cannot take away the other. And I
That's
think
right.
that when individuals actually try to say, I'm doing this for my children, and then their children come to the point where they don't respect them anymore, or they don't listen to their guidance and direction, they get caught. But I did this for you, and everything I did was for you, and then they lose a substance because they put a substance in somebody else, you know what I mean, instead of putting a substance within themselves.
Right. It was
Because
it
now
was out of balance.
it was not a balance. And now when your child comes to their understanding and their awareness, they're going to come to their understanding and awareness, and it might not have nothing to do with you.
Right. 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 And you feel
So
cheated because
and you
you put
feel
all the
that's right. That's right. You feel cheated. You feel betrayed. You
mm-hmm.
know, and you feel like you're supposed to have dominance and control. Right? It was a story, and this is real. I'm sorry I read it. I'm sorry I came across it, but I did. I read an article 2 days ago. A Spanish woman actually lost her life. She was 18 years old. Her father killed her because he didn't want her to go to the prom because he said he couldn't trust her to go to the prom, so he killed her.
He took her life because he did not feel he could trust her to go to the prom.
Her high school prom
He put such a low value.
on her life.
Wow. That's sad.
That's
That
sad.
is so sad.
And it hit me because I got a daughter. I said, "Wow, that's crazy. Who would do such a thing?" And just show that you cannot come to a point where you feel that you are in control of the lives and the substance of other people,
Right.
whether you made
Right.
it bleed in their children or not. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because they are a substance, of themselves, right? Like I
Right.
said, they beat out a million cell seeds just like you to get here.
That's
So you're
right.
so you're not unique. What makes you unique? They're unique as you.
That's right.
Y'all go through this. Y'all went through the same path.
That's
And
right.
guess what? And
And they
guess
have the
what?
same rights.
That's right. And guess what? Y'all didn't do it together.
Yes.
You
Yes.
wasn't like you didn't reach back and grab her like, come on, let's go. We almost
Right.
there. You
Right.
didn't do any of those things, right?
And that's another thing that we are taught, that our children are really not our children.
Then they don't belong to us.
They're just a gift.
Yeah, they're just a gift, or they could be a curse too, right?
Well, not all gifts are great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right? Yeah, yeah.
Some gifts you like and some you
Some
don't.
gifts you don't. Yeah, some gifts will magnify that you, and some gifts will not, right?
But they're
You
on
so
loan to you. They're on loan to you.
yeah, they are. I mean, yeah, because you can have them and then you go on the next day and they continue with their lives. So you can't say that you're in control. A lot of women die in childbirth every
Right.
year.
Right.
People don't speak about that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so you don't have possession of anything because if you did, you would be here to take ownership of it and to dominate and
Right.
control it.
And so we
But
don't own
but
we
we
don't
don't we
own
don't own
nothing.
nothing. We don't own nothing. Zero. You know?
Almost made you cuss, didn't it?
Yeah. I had to stop myself. Like, oh, I'm on a live, right? You know. But that's how serious it is. That we have to realize
Mhm.
that we are not in ownership of nothing, not even ourselves.
Right. Right.
And with that release, we can let ourselves live, we can let ourselves go, we can accept our faults, our falls, and we can get back up and we can keep it moving by releasing these things of the world from us.
Right.
We had them, we don't have them no more. That's good. Let them go.
Right.
Find a new purpose, find a new substance for your life.
That's
You
right.
know, you used to be a jockey, you lost your job as a jockey, turn into a cook.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's substances out here for all of us to be able to elevate and to be able to grow without thinking that this one thing is going to define us or this one, and it's not.
No.
Nothing can define us. No matter what you do or how many times you do it, you're not going to be satisfied with it. You're always going to want more.
Well, when it's based on things,
When it's based on things,
when
you're
it's
always going to
based,
want more.
you're always going to want more things. But
Things on top
that's
of
why
things on top of things.
I always focus on what is within and what the things that are important as far as the love that we project, the compassion, the kindness, all of those elevate us so much higher than because we're always going to be wanting things.
Always. It's never going to stop.
Always.
And
And until you become to, as you said, the mind of Gandhi, if we can come, no, it was Buddha. You were
yeah,
talking, yeah.
so my Buddha, but Gandhi was the same way.
Yeah, Gandhi just come to the mindset of letting all this really
Yeah.
go.
And it was only on one principle. Gandhi's whole thing was on one principle, transformation on one principle. Why should I have and he don't? That was his principle. That's what made him transition into who he was, because he said, who am I that I will have and another man is not able to have?
Wow. And that again goes back to in the Holy Quran, it says, a man has passed from death into life when he wants for his brother what he wants for himself.
That's correct. That's correct. And with that, sister, we're going to have to conclude, right? But this has been a great segment. I'm gonna send it to you. Do what you got to do. But it's on Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, and it's also on YouTube.
Okay.
So we was live on all three platforms at the same time, so people can find us, reach out to you, get some
Yeah.
substance for their life. Rebuild. And step outside their comfort zone. Make yourself uncomfortable. Do what you got to do to challenge yourself and to have parts of you that you have been missing.
And reach out to Nathaniel or reach out to me. I am always available and to be of service. See, I know
See the
that.
statement?
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. And that is so true.
That's right.
And that's one reason I have connected with Nathaniel on a soul level, because I know that his existence is to be able to be of service to others and to
That's
elevate.
right.
And I'm the same. I
That's
want
right.
to elevate and I want to empower, because I don't want to have all this happiness just by myself.
All right. So if you by yourself, who do you share your happiness with?
That's right.
I'm
And what is
curious.
happiness if it cannot be shared?
Yeah, who are you gonna share with? The TV, your radio, the book you pick up and read, right?
Right.
You share with the Most High, but the Most High says,
But
even if
he doesn't need anything from me.
yeah, it's just like Christ said. Christ said, "It's impossible for you to love me if you do not love your brother that you see."
That's right.
See, as it went over people's heads, like he's telling you, don't come to me and profess your love if you do not profess your love to one another.
And how are you going to profess that love except in action? And what do I have to give? I have myself.
That's it.
What do
That's all
I
I have.
truly have to give?
Just
I
me.
have myself.
I
I
don't need
have
nothing
what
else.
I really I have what God has given me. He gave it to me
Me.
freely.
Give it to me. He gave me me. He
Yes,
didn't give me to you. He didn't make me for you to take it and for you to control it and dominate it. He gave me for me to share with you. Not
yes,
for you, not for you to take possession of, but to share with
share.
you.
So I want to share my happiness.
I want
I
to share
want
my life. I want to
yes,
share my knowledge.
yes.
I want to
How
share the
did I get
contents
to
of my
be
heart.
how did I get to be happy? What did I
Yeah, and
and not just this thing that we have been taught is
heart.
happiness,
No,
but what did I have to get to know true happiness that no one can take from me?
not only
No
can they
one.
not take it, they can't even see it.
And on that note, Nathaniel,
That's right, sister. That's
peace.
peace. Good day, guys. It's great. I hope everybody that tuned in, reach out to us. If you got a story to tell, let me know. My dad is here. I can help you out. We can get on this podcast. We can talk your stuff, help you sort some things out. Sometimes you might need the audience to help you get to your understanding. Don't think that you got it all figured out. Because you created something, don't mean that because you created something that is an absolute, that you know everything. you know, Reach out with that knowledge, and people can help you develop it, come to a high understanding, and to increase you if they are put in your path to increase you. Sometimes you're in paths of other people just to increase them.
Right.
They might not be there to increase you. It might just be a one-way street, but you'll learn from that one-way street later on down the line, and guess what? That person will learn too.
Yes. And therein we all will gain from each other.
Gain from each other and be able, like I would say, to see each other on different planes that will beautify us and that
Yes.
will increase us, right?
Yes.
Whether it may be in this life here or the transition of another, we should always seek, because we are life sources, that life source is first and foremost, and that things are secondary to life.
Yes. Peace, my brother.
Peace,
Peace.
everybody. We'll talk later. Good to have you.